Damn, seriously. Somebody has that up. Seriously. Fangs, that's gotta be it. Snap. shit, seriously. Damn. Fuck, seriously. Ah, okay, seriously, what the friggin' hell, seriously. Seriously, come on, hurry the hell up.